Hey, what's going on, lifers? Hope you're doing well. I wanted to get on here on a Friday and discuss a whole topic that you've probably seen a lot of my posts are kind of related to this, and it is going to be what continually fuels you moving forward. So obviously, this group is going to be we're going to be talking about business, and we're going to start talking a lot more about branding. So let me know if you're here and what kind of business you have. I'd love to use some examples. So listen, if you want to know how is it that one wins and how does one consistently win? So you can have any type of business, you can have ebbs and flow of passion. What I don't want to happen to you, that I see it happening to a lot of people, is as their passion and their belief kind of go up and down, so does their revenue, so does their sales. And one of the things I notice a lot, and the trends I see a lot, is as soon as those things kind of go, hey, Jessica, Jessica, I didn't even know that. I didn't know you ran a language school in Switzerland. So good to see you again. It's been a minute. One of the things, let me know if you have questions in here, by the way. One of the things that you cannot rely on is your emotional state as it comes to sales and growing your business. There are some parts of the business that are going to go up and down and they're outside of you, but a lot of it actually stems and begins from within yourself. And so the very first thing is understanding what is your passion, and then understanding how do you take the passion that you have, which is completely turbulent energy. Passion is an amazing thing, but it's very turbulent. It's very volatile. So like anything you can imagine that's volatile, that thing is going to come out, be really strong, and then kind of whoosh away. So today is the full moon, and so this is a high passion kind of day. I know I woke up this morning and I was like electrified. I was on the DMs, just talking to people, reaching out to friends who needed support, trying to find places where I could do goodwill type things, making sure I'm having some kind of like closure with certain conversations that had made me feel a certain way. And when it is the full moon, it's time to shine. It literally is time to shine. Hey, how's it going? Nice to see you. Ion? Did I say that right? I know you told me before. Let me know if you guys are here. So if you can dial in your passion, one way to do that, dial in your passion by rooting back to what your vision is. One of the things I'm going to work on, and I'm actually in the middle of creating an event or a workshop where I'm actually going to start getting out there and showing you guys what you can do to start developing a really strong vision. I know if you're a lot like me, when I was looking at my mentors and they told me what their vision was, I was kind of like, oh, that's great, but I have no idea who I stand for, what I stand for. I mean, I like certain things, I like certain causes, but am I really, really that focused on that? Like, is that the thing that lights me up? Am I even capable of saying that's my vision? So if you guys hadn't seen my post, yeah, absolutely. Jesse and Jessica, y'all should connect. I'm going to be a lot more active in this group, and there's actually reason behind that. My team for launch is on fire, and I have now time and bandwidth to reinvest back into the group. So as we continue to grow, Owen, thank you. Thank you. I know it was something that I wasn't going to say right, so I appreciate you. Owen, good to see you. Drop me what you do here in the comments. And Jesse, you might as well too, since you're here. I know what you do, but obviously Jessica doesn't. So I've been here kind of corralling the crew. I want to do a little workshop where we start to unpack what your vision looks like. The reason it's so important is if you have a vision that you feel really strong about, that electrifies you, you've got a North Star. And what that does is it starts to create just brick by brick self-belief. And I know people talk to y'all about marketing all day. I talk about sales all the time. People talk about this tactic, do this course, do that course, be in that mastermind. Literally, the very first thing that you can start to work on, although it is hard to do when you are inside the label. Wait, how does it? You can't read the label when you're inside the bottle, right? That whole phrase is working on your self-belief. If you can believe that you are meant to play big, that you need to stop playing small or by the sidelines, that you have to take the risk, the dream that you've been secretly even not even checking in with yourself on anymore because you've swept it so far under the rug and you're waiting for some sign to say it's time to come play big. There is no sign. It is no sign. It was not easy. Hey, Danielle, how's it going, honey? Good to see you. It was not easy to get to 140K. What I will also tell you, because I have so many people asking me, and these people get to ask me because I'm friends with them or we have relationships, we're working on business together, they're on my team, they've got access to me. They want to know, oh my God, are you happy all the time? You must be feeling over the moon. And I literally told a friend of mine who was a former client, and I was like, I'm not even thinking about the 140K. I was like, dude, that was like a month ago. I've had the high, I fell off the high, and I've like moved on to normal life. So that's kind of what happens as it relates to certain business milestones and success. Here's what doesn't change though. So yeah, is it nice? What I told him was, yeah, it's nice to write a check to write off some problems. I'm like, but I didn't magically turn into a size 2. My kids being dramatic about certain things or causing fusses and this and that, it didn't just magically go away. And I didn't become 100% 10 out of 10 fulfilled person just because the money came in. Literally the only thing happened is I hit a business milestone. I can now write a few more checks than I did before. That's it. There was nothing else bigger. There's nothing else, there wasn't anything foundationally that changed. That's why you have to come back into the belief part of it. And what I'm seeing on strategy sessions I have, which tell me what the market is dealing with, the actual problem. I get asked a lot of like, well, what do you think of my offer? How do you think I should position it? I think the positioning is off. I think my energy is off. I think, I read this thing. I've listened to this podcast. And it's trying to really intellectualize a problem that is really simple at the roots. And I am starting to really believe the concept that the bigger you think the problem is, the more simpler the answer is. So I want to encourage you and I want to challenge you to take one step forward as I'm working on developing this workshop, this training for you guys. And obviously I will drop it here first. It's going to be filled with value. And now I have the time and the ability to start to build those things. It's going to be super front end offer. I'm literally just like really low, really, really, really low offer. And so I'm putting that together. And anyways, so the concept is to start with your self-belief. And what that means is starting to let go of a previous version of you that is no longer serving you. You are also meant to do big things. I don't want you to come on here and glorify my success because I've done that. I actually thought that's what was going to happen. I thought I was going to turn into a unicorn. I didn't. I hit 50K, no unicorn. Hit 60K, no unicorn. It's not what happens. And so the thing that I didn't believe, which is probably why I didn't get there at a certain point earlier, I didn't used to believe, like I'm talking a year ago, that I would ever be the kind of person who made 100K in a month. I thought 100K in a year was like phenomenal. So let me clarify one thing for you. What I don't want you to do is if you're making 3K, 5K, 10K, 20K, or even 0K, I don't want you to imagine I'm going to go from 0K to 100. And I just talked to somebody at Mastermind I went to and gave her a little coaching over lunch to say, hey, hon, the problem you're having, you're at 20K, which is phenomenal, by the way. I'm like, do you know that? Do you remember that? Like getting to 20K a month is a really big achievement. She didn't. Because why? Because she's comparing. We all tend to do that. She wanted to go from 20K to 100. And what I challenged her with is to say, you're missing an entire foundational step. And that is draining your energy and it will zap you of the path forward and keep pushing you back. I go 20K, your next step is 50K months. When you get to 50K, then you're allowed to start dreaming and visualizing what a 100K month looks like. Let me know if that makes sense. Like, this is some of the most simple but golden advice. Like, this is the kind of coaching I give my clients, and it may not sound super sexy, but I am always going to be somebody who's an encourager, is passionate, and will tell you the honest truth of how to get somewhere. Do you get this? The honest truth of how to get there is not visualizing 100K when you're at 10. That actually backfires on you. You don't hit the 100K. You go into a shame spiral, and you just believe that you're forever going to be a 10K person. Let me know if you guys have questions on this. If you're at 10K, your next goal is either 15 or 20. And this makes a big difference because this simplicity and this concept of taking one small step forward and you then winning at that step, that's what creates self-confidence, which will then fuel back into your belief. So imagine what happens when this girl goes, and I'm truly in belief that she'll hit it. When she goes from 20K and then hits 50K, imagine the level of belief that will be within her. She'll start to be like, and you know, she has these like Nigerian roots and she's not used to visualizing herself as a black woman who's like supposed to be making this much money. There's all these like cultural, society, identity, all these aspects to it that are somewhat subconscious too. When she gets to 50K, normalizes that, identifies with it, creates an identity around it, that's when the energy is going to open up because her belief is going to be going in the same direction as her energy. And then other people feel that. And I kid you not, this is where the woo-woo, universe, whatever kicks in, and you start to get fed on the path so that you can go from the 50 to the 100. So some of it is a little woo-woo, but it works. But the most simplest thing is to get your beliefs dialed in by utilizing your passion and knowing that that's going to kind of be up and down and all around. Those are the kind of things that ends up connecting to wins. And when you do have a win, please, I encourage you, use this group. I love hearing about people's wins. It's a positive environment. It's a winning environment. I wouldn't say I am competitive to other people, but I am competitive in this sense, like with myself or wanting to achieve the next big thing. Come drop it in here. Share us your wins. When you do that, what happens is this thing called anchoring. When you celebrate your win, what happens sometimes for people, they'll tell me a win and it'll almost be like they're trying to like push it down. They're like, oh, you know, I hit my first 10K month. I know that's not a big deal for you. And I have to like immediately stop them and say, no, it is absolutely a big deal for me. Do you know why? And then they're caught off guard because it's time to reset. And I'm like, because it's an enormous deal for you. I was like, do you think I was not sub 10K at some point in time? I'm like, the 0 to 10K is the biggest, hardest, most arduous hustle that's out there. So if you get to 10K months, that's almost more worthy of celebration than me hitting the 140. And in that moment, two things happen. One, they feel that pride within themselves that they've achieved. The second thing is that they start to believe in themselves and say, wow, okay, cool. Like, she believes in me. I mean, I think I should believe in myself. And some of that stuff is not things you say out loud. I'm an extremely self-aware person, so I hear the entire conversation. You may not, and that's okay. Some of you may. So that's why it's so important with the belief, passion, wins, and then coming back and celebrating them so that you're anchored in what that looks like. So I'm going to be putting together that workshop like I said, sorry. And I will let you guys know. Again, going to be more. I'm going to start to see so much more content in this group because I have time. My team is on fire. I have a team that is pretty much running everything. And they're amazing. And now I have time to literally be the CEO, read the things, learn the things, be in events, mastermind with people, talk to really high level people that I'm getting one-on-one coaching, training, insights, how to think from. And I think when I've been in this position right now, I am a huge believer of gratitude. And so if someone pours into me teachings and learnings and stuff like that, I want to pour it back into you guys. So I hope this was helpful for you guys. Tell me what you take away from it. please come back in here and start posting what your wins are. And let's go crush the rest of the end of this month, but even set a better goal for August. Talk to you guys soon. Bye.